Is it fine? Are you all able to hear?
Yes, Arun. Yeah.
I'm not able to hear you all. I think my side speaker is not working, I guess.
Yeah. Speaker, can you test it?
Yeah. I think,
Can you hear us now? Hello?
Yeah, I
yeah,
can
yeah,
hear you.
yeah. Yeah, I was not able to hear at my end, but now it is fine. I'm able to hear. Okay. So we had started understanding the cloud security, and we know that for the cloud security, we need to start with all the resources because if we want to secure something, we have to secure each and every bit of it. So that is why in cloud security, the very first part which we need to understand and secure is actually infrastructure security. So what comes in infrastructure? So there are like lot of things which are coming into infrastructure. The very first thing which comes in compute service. So our first job is to secure the compute service. So compute service. So to understand what are the things that should be secured and what things should be left to cloud provider side. Okay. So for both of this, we have to understand that there are some shared responsibility model. Okay. For every security, there are the responsibility model. Some responsibilities are there which are not for cloud providers, some are not for customers. Customer means the one who is opting the service from the cloud and who we can be either customer or we can also be a part of any organization who will be giving us the uh, 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 giving us the this um, role to play from their end. So we need to understand what is customer side or our employer side model and what is cloud provider side model in case of security. So obviously we know that any cloud service is having these three things. So what is region? Region is the geographic area where they are having their own servers through them which they are actually offering various services. Second thing is AZ availability zone that is there more than two in each of the region so that they can offer redundancy and cloud provider can also off balance the load. And then there is edge location. This part we have not done till now. So what is edge location? Nowadays there are plenty of new what we say new technology or new enhancement in cloud is also coming. Okay, so you might have heard of fog computing or might have heard of edge computing. uh, do you know what is fog or edge computing? Have you heard of something?
No.
Edge location I had like the what whichever is the closest location, the server, the request will be routed to that.
Yeah, very
Is
good.
the system
So
or
yeah, definitely. So that is actually, yeah. So sometimes we need to process the very required thing at the location itself, or maybe just near the location. So let's say there is immediate node or immediate cloud backing system. who will do some processing and then further send the data to the actual cloud location. So that is called as edge location. And it is like in the cloud, let's say cloud is in the sky and fog is in the area. So when there is foggy area, so it is very similar to cloud. Same way, this nature kind of thing they have adopted, and they have given the facility into some smart devices, some internet capable devices, where we know that there is nowadays there is a world of IoTs coming. So everywhere IoT is also coming. However, with the IoT, there is a rising concern of the security as well, because all are connected to the cloud and the security is needed. So IoT is also using these edge locations or this cloud thing. Okay, I'll just give you a small example so that I can just uh, uh, circle it properly for the edge location that if we take about this situation about CCTV camera. So CCTV camera is nowadays so smart that they don't record, means while saving or while giving the alert, they don't record everything completely. Okay. So once that scene is captured, once that scenario is captured, then they will do what? They will that CCTV will wait. Okay, let's say if there is a night scene and there is no change in that scenario, so it will not store that because that one frame is enough. It will store the very next frame from where activity is happening. Maybe even a small insect is there and who can be captured, then immediately camera will get active and that moment will be recorded. And again that insect has gone, there is still, or even a person is there who is sleeping, then again there will be still image. So that is called as image subtraction method. So means previous and the new will be minus. Okay. If there is no change, then no need to record. So that is how we can save on data. That is how we can save on the logic. That is how we can do some edge location computing and we can avoid unnecessary transmissions. So these are the global or hardware infrastructure. This is not our side, this is the cloud side. Okay. Now, what cloud services are providing us? They are providing us the compute power, that is processor speed. They are provide and the RAM. They are providing us the storage. So storage we are using since long back, and nowadays smart storage has also come. And then we have database server. Database and storage are two different things. Okay, storage is something which we need to process or maybe store the data after processing. And database is something which is already saved data or already present data. And then there is networking. So whether you want it or not, but networking will be present everywhere. So even these four minimum services are offered by AWS or any cloud services. So these four services need to be secured. These four services need to be, so there is security from the AWS side also. There is security requirement for the account owner also. So both side we need to have some responsibility model. Similarly, customer side or individual side or organization who has opted the cloud service, if we are looking from that perspective, then there are certain requirement from their side also. Now it is not the responsibility of AWS. So if meanwhile anything goes wrong, there is audit process, there is a incidents response, there is a incidents document process, and in that process, they means every time we make this a responsibility model and we try to analyze that which side was weaker when anything has happened. So as you can see here, there is a client-side data encryption and data integrity authentication. So that is the customer side. It is job of customer to authenticate, to encrypt, and to maintain the data integrity while it is in rest or it is in motion. Then there is a server-side encryption. Again, it is the job of customer. Before sending it to server, make sure that server-side encryption is on. We'll do all this part. Then there is network traffic protection. So again, our CIA triad comes in picture. So network traffic protection deals with how exactly you are allowing the network to be accessed or how much load it is taking. And then we talk about operating system, we talk about network and firewall configuration. So all these things are again coming under customer responsibility model or organization who has hired you to do their admin job of the cloud or maybe other things. And similarly, platform applications and IAM, identity and access management. All three are also under customer responsibility model. And obviously, customer data is also the job of customer. So, blue part is also required to be secured, and customer is responsible for that. So, it is job of customer to make sure that nothing goes wrong. So, if I'm talking only this much, that comes under even cyber, that comes under even cloud. So it is commonly known as cyber plus cloud model, and this is purely cloud model, purely cloud side. Okay. So just on the side note, I just wanted to ask that uh, yesterday I was taking the meeting, so in the recording I was hearing some tapping noise. I think this was coming through my writing pad, so I just changed that writing pad means directions and modified accordingly. So, is there any other sound coming in between, or it is any tapping noise or any other thing today?
Sometimes the tapping noise come, but it's not as prevalent like before.
Okay, okay, thank you. So that was I wanted to know. So in the recording, I got to know that. Okay. So these are the two different responsibility model, and one should be very much aware before starting the cloud security that what part is towards customer and what part is towards cloud service or cloud providers. So AWS responsibility I would like to discuss today, and we are about to secure the very first, that is security of the cloud. So there is AWS responsibility. They try to cover this physical security. So that is their job to make sure their servers are intact and their servers are not uh, being abused or by physical or any other thing, and not any unauthorized access is happening. Then region was there, AZ was there, edge location was there. Now compute service is the first part that we want to secure, and we want to learn how this is going to happen. So already AWS or any other cloud service or provider will take the necessary precaution to make sure that compute service is secured, because that is the very important part. If any organization's compute part is getting exploited, then definitely there will be lot of downtime, and if there is downtime, definitely it is going to affect the businesses. So that is why there has to be a proper reasoning. Whatever is done here in the cloud, every time you have to be reasonable that why are you doing this and what is the outcome of this action. So there is a hardware and software infrastructure. We all know that AWS service is providing you the services. So there is one thing that I would like to highlight before starting our demonstration and other things is the virtualization infrastructure. So there is a hardware or we can say services. Okay, so we call this as bare metal, like which we have compute and processing power and so much. Okay, so there is hardware services. Okay, I just want to highlight that have we now, if you think now, if you think of from cloud perspective or provider perspective, then you will feel that you might have the longest or biggest server with you. Let's say Google is having 27 kilometer of underground tunnel in which they have kept their servers at various places. All these are underground servers. So, but even that is not what we say, not going to be sufficient if we to look at the world's population and the companies which are interested to take the cloud, so it is very difficult to fulfill the requirement. So how exactly all the other services or client services or whoever wants the cloud service, how their entire responsibility or entire requirement is being fulfilled. So answer is this middle layer, and this middle layer is called as virtualization. So there is a word called as virtualization. So have you seen any kind of virtualization in your way of any day, or you understood what is virtualization? Can anyone just highlight that? What do we understand from this word of virtualization?
Basically, able to access information online and make any changes.
Okay.
In
Like
remotely.
Uh, please. Uh, yeah, yeah.
creating the virtual servers and optimizing the server space.
Yes, yes. Okay. So yeah. So almost at this same place we both are. So virtualization is actually the process by which we are offering the same hardware to the multiple users, and every user is thinking that we have got the entire hardware. That is the meaning of virtualization. Means we are making the hardware virtually available to each and every user or each and every cloud customer. So let's say if I have a laptop, so I have rented that laptop on the time sharing basis. Okay, so I have given this laptop to, let's say, first 5 hours to somebody else and next 5 hours to somebody else. And they both do not know that this laptop is being shared because no information from one user to another user is leaked. So every time user is thinking that this entire laptop belongs to me. Same goes for these kind of hardware. So there is a word called as hypervisor. There are certain companies like IBM, Zen, and virtual machines, VMware, VirtualBox. All these companies are there. They are providing this kind of service to the cloud, and they virtualize their hardware. Okay, and one thing is that hardware must be very much fast. Okay, so very fast hardware has to be there. Fast hardware in the virtualization because we can divide the user onto time sharing basis only. So if we divide the user on time sharing basis, let's say for few seconds, this user has got chance. For few more seconds, another user has got the chance to use the entire hardware, and no user will feel that there is a lag or there is any delay or there is any issue. So definitely hypervisor is a very efficient software which do not like let other users to know that there is a sharing mechanism going on. So that is called as virtualization. And there are two layer of virtualization. Just for your knowledge, I'm telling that virtualization is of two kind. One is the hardware level virtualization, and second is the software level virtualization. Even we can virtualize the hardware and give it to multiple user, and even we can virtualize the software and we can make it available to multiple users. So, if you have ever worked on like Google Sheets, maybe Google Docs, maybe Excel file or something, which is shared online, and you may have seen that while you are editing, some else are also editing in the same sheet. So that is the another example of virtualized document or virtualized display or virtualized software. So these era is now on to virtualizations. Okay, same hardware, same software can be given to multiple user and with the process of virtualization. Even our cell phones, Android phones and iPhones, all those are having provision for extra number of users. You can make your guest account active, or maybe other user you can add. And if any other user is using that time, you switch the user, your desktop, your screen, or your data will be totally different than the existing user, and then you can switch back to your normal user. So this provision is already there at the local stage. Now they have taken this idea and they have gone to cloud level, and now billions of customers are now being we are able to serve them because of this technology called as virtualization. So I just explained this virtualization just to understand why these hardwares are and all these are virtualized, and how exactly cloud providers are able to serve such a large community, such a large amount of requirement, and they are asking everybody to come on to the cloud. Is it fine? Uh, I just need a nod and then I go ahead with the compute now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, customer side also, we talked about these are the responsibilities. We'll get to know each one in detail and we'll try to practice some hands-on session also on these one of these every. Okay. So, very first thing that we want to secure is the infrastructure as a service. That is the very first part of the cloud service model. So infrastructure, if it is there, then we have to make sure that these things like EC2 instances, like elastic block storage, like VPC, that is Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, that is meant for networking, that should be secured, that should be guarded. And who is responsible to do that? Customer. So this is our side. This is the employee side. This is the employer side's thing. Okay. So EC2 instance should be secured. That is coming under infrastructure. Amazon EBS, that is for storage service. And then there is networking service. All three must be secured. And some platform services are also there. I will get to explain in detail later on. First, we are focusing on to infrastructure. There is AWS Lambda, there is a database management RDS, there is Elastic Beanstalk, but all three are managed by AWS or cloud provider. This is not our side. But what is coming under our side is these three are very big concerns, and we should not leave it like in such a way that anybody can reach to these resources and exploit them. So that is why infrastructure security is a must now. So I think now we are clear. that infrastructure is not only the side of cloud provider, it is also the responsibility of customer side as well. So it is our duty to secure the processing power, that is compute power. We call this elastic cloud compute. And then we have to storage power, storage facility, again we have to secure it, and then networking. So these four, these three things we should secure. Okay, so that is what is required for our side. So we are going to practice how to secure these things in the cloud, and we are using AWS cloud for now. Same thing, exactly same thing. We can go with the Azure. You can refer any video model. Everything is there onto YouTube as well. Every type, everything. You just have to search. And once we have this practice of AWS, you can just take a glance that how exactly it is there in the Azure. And no, means a model will be very similar, only few names will be different over there. Same goes for the Google side cloud, which is called as GCP. Okay, so I'll just proceed now with the compute power, and we try to understand how can we secure this compute power. So there are some other tools which are already given by from the AWS side, that is for our or employer or employee or customer related, and this will help each of them to secure their infrastructure properly. So these are the different examples, which is called as software as a service. We call them as SaaS level. And in the SaaS level, you can understand, you can just see this trusted advisor, which is enabled by default for each and every user. So whenever you try to do something into AWS in your account, maybe in your employer's IAM account, everywhere this will show their uh, what we say pop-up or warning kind of notification, so that you understand while setting up the cloud that what can go wrong. So we are done with the activity shared model, responsibility model. We'll just make a demonstration there. Okay. So this is one of the activity that we are about to implement. But before that, first we secure the EC2 instance, then we will go ahead with this model. So these are like kind of project that you can do. So if you have your own AWS account, you can even do it there. So I'll help you after some time that who will do and what kind of things will be done. Okay. So I'll just leave. I'll just wait at this slide now, and first we'll go back to other side, because uh, I have to use some other activity and then come back to this. Okay. So few after maybe one or two more sessions, once we are okay with the dashboards, then I'll request if you all can open your own AWS account and for 1 year. So that will be helpful for you to practice and to get to know about AWS cloud in much detail, and you can put that into your uh, some of the project there. You can make them live as well, and or whenever you want, you can make them live, and you can show that we have done this. So see, yesterday I was showing you that from the Amazon Academy, I'm the authorized educator. So see, out of $50, I was given $50 credit to show the lab. So yesterday, this billing amount was $1.3. Now it has come to $1.4. I have used it approximately 1 hour 30 minutes, and now only $0.1, that means 10 cent. was increased. Is it? Uh, so this is how it is there, and this method is only available to me. What we have very common is this AW, aws dot amazon dot com. So this is the website through which we are able to log in our account, and we can complete our AWS registration, and we can sign in or maybe create the AWS account. When you create or sign in into AWS account, it will ask whether you are IAM user or you want to set up a root password. So if you are having root account, you have to use that username, ID, and password. And if you are having any IAM user, you can use that also. I'll tell you how exactly we can use this IAM user, and we have an activity where we will create the IAM user. Okay, so that will do it. Now I'll just start the login. After login, how exactly this AWS page will look like. So this was the default look that we from yesterday and day before I have given the demonstration, and see the login user detail will come on the right corner. Then the reason which we have selected with the availability zone, it is by default coming North Virginia. That is fine, and then other options are also there. Then there is a services. Okay, so these things are available. Now very first thing what we need to secure is the EC2 service. Why? Because EC2 service is the one of the part that we need to secure, and this is coming under the client or server side responsibility as well. So that is why it is our job to look after the setting of the EC2 so that it is not exploited, and so that it is accessible from our or from a specific client. Okay. So that is why I'm selecting EC2 instance now. EC2 is the compute power of AWS. Okay. And in the Azure, it is directly called as compute. Okay. So these are the different resources that we are using. Names are different, but their working style or working model is the same. So right now, so it is showing all the you are using the following EC2 resource in the US East North Virginia region. So it is, they have said that there are three different instances which are running and which you have created, and billing will be coming according to that. So if I just want to check what are the different EC2 instances which are up and running. Okay. So see, moment we have started, some of the web servers are started and they are trying to run. Okay. If we have stopped them properly, then it will be in stop state. If we delete them, it will not be visible over here. Then you have to create the entire thing again and again. And if you are stopping it, then no problem. So I'll just refresh all the services. I'll check what is happening. So I think yesterday we made this particular server where we name them as web server, and we have just installed Ubuntu operating system on this particular resource, and it is instance type t2.micro. T2.micro means it is the processor power. So T2.micro is very smallest processor power, which is offering us one uh, virtual CPU, means one core and 1 GB RAM. If we go for T2 dot large, it will be having more RAM and better cores. But of course, charges will be different. And a few are available for um, what few things are available for free tier account. So we are now operating into free tier account. So that is why no problem. But if you are having your own account and if you are going for paid version, then you can select any machine. they have very large machines also, very, very large machines also. So of course their charges are there. So bigger companies or bigger organizations are using that. However, their operating mechanism is similar to what we are practicing here. So we have this ECS web server, we have this another server. All those are running and updated. So let's say uh, I want to start any one of the service. Okay. So once that service is selected, okay, it is up and running. I'll just click on their ID. So when I click on the ID of that web server, one, see the name is also there. See the name is also there. Etc. If screen is not that much visible to you all, can you just confirm that this cursor is visible to you all?
Yeah, that's good. So now I cannot see the screen, but yeah, previously I can see that.
Visible?
Yeah, yeah, it's visible.
Uh,
Instructions. Yeah.
yeah. I'm using this mouse cursor to highlight the names and other part. So if it is visible, then like we can read it properly. Okay. So otherwise, I'm just using one pen marking system. So these are these details that to the service which we have just started, and it will we can decide that how exactly this can be secured. So our today's job is to secure this infrastructure or this EC2 instance. So I want to secure that. For that purpose, this is our web server that we have made that yesterday. This is the instance ID of that, and this is the public address which is there. So this public address is called as the public IP address. So either you have a website or we have a IPv4 address. So if I use this address, if I try to use this address, I should be able to reach to this server. That is what is there. And for internal communication, this server is also having another IP address, which is referred as private IP address. That is not valid outside their cloud system. And if you want to access that outside their cloud search system, then you have to use this 44.210.86.2. So if I just click on here as open service, open address, if I click here, see the in the address bar, what it is going to see, it is going to say, this is the IP address through which it was trying to communicate. And one error is coming here that this site cannot be reached. There is no, this particular server is actually refusing to connect and it is not trying to connect. And some suggestions are given. Okay. So if even if I try to reload, same thing will happen again and again. So this is why that because we have made some options there, we need to change those options. And that is coming under infrastructure security.
So
So
that's a
nobody,
firewall blocked, right?
yeah, what did you say? Pardon?
The firewall is blocked. That's why we see this message.
Yeah, so firewall setting need to be changed. So that is not the firewall of our my laptop. That is the policy or security policy of the AWS. Because of that, because this is not at my computer, this is at the AWS service. And AWS is not allowing us, or that EC2 instance is not allowing us to get in that. So this is what we are going to do today. So we need to manage this security properly. So for that purpose, I'll just go for like bit scroll down a bit, and there you will get certain options. This is the detail about the server. When was it launched? What time it was launched? How much was the utilization time? And whether it is disabled or started or something like that. Every detail is shown here. Second thing is status and alarm. If we set some alarm that if my server is crossing 10 minutes of computing, I should get one alarm, so I can do that. Then there is monitoring. So some monitoring tool which are available by default from the AWS that we can use. And our required part is here, that is called as security. So first I'll do, I'll click on the security. When I click on the security, it will open that security detail. What IAM role was defined, dash is there. We need to define that. Then owner ID. What owner ID is there? That is available. Launch time is also available. That is okay. And what is more important is this security group. So please understand to hence onwards, I am going to use security group as SG. I will call this as a new name, new short name as SG. So whenever you are using AWS, there is SG. Whenever you use Azure cloud system, there the same thing is called as NSG, Network Security Group. And even if we go to Google Cloud platform, that so then it will become again SG. So there it is called again called as SG. So see the names are pretty much similar. So whether we use any of these three public major giant cloud service, their security group that we need to change. We need to manage this. Okay. So that is what is required. So security aspects needed to change this thing. And this is one of the ID which is created. It is also called as Launch Wizard 3. Okay. Some name is given because it is for third server. So that is it was Launch Wizard 3. And whenever we try to implement anything, we have to make sure few things over here. That is called as inbound and outbound rule. So that is the very first part that we want to do here. So from here, our infrastructure security starts. So always remember we have to configure this SG. We can configure this SG at the time of setting of the server, or we can do it later as well. Then next is the networking. So networking again having VPC ID. So this VPC ID is also about securing the network. So we will again understand it later. The next was storage. So again, we need to talk about whether any storage services are attached to this. If it is there, then how do we secure that? And few tags are there. Tags are just for understanding purpose that when we made this EC2 instance, what was my target, or we can just write that. So for today's infrastructure security, we are going under security tab of any EC2 instance. So you first select the EC2 tab and then can go to security group, and it will open this launch wizard of SG. So I can edit my SG over here. Okay. So SG editing is about this. Okay. So this is called as security group and we are having inbound rule matrix, we are having outbound rule matrix and the tag. So by default, every time from EC to instance, or if I have a one EC2 instance or EC2 server which we have set up, by default all the traffic outbound traffic is allowed. It means from my server to any other IP in the world, any other IP means our server should be able to deliver the services or content to any of the IP address. So whenever I want to make sure I want to write any of the IP address, I should be using this address 0.0.0/0. Whenever you try to write IP address, you have to write in dotted decimal notation. So that is 0.0.0.0/0 is the masking value. So if you write like this suggests that any other IP address, any IP address across the globe, you can reach out from your EC2 instance. Means by default, all the traffic outbound is always allowed because there is no harm. Now, what about the inbound rule? So I'll just now highlight the second issue that is called as inbound rule. So if I try to go for inbound rule, what will happen? So let's say I am trying to reach to this server. So if I allow everyone or anyone to reach to this server, that is called as inbound rule. So inbound traffic rule, if I want to say, then what will happen? I cannot go for any other IP. I have to use specific IP. I should not be using anyone to reach to my server because if that is allowed, then even hackers, even anybody can come to EC2 instance. And once they are near into EC2 instance, they can do some harm to or exploitation in the compute power. So that is why we have to very cautious while setting up. This is the very first rule to secure the compute infrastructure, that you need to block all the inbound traffic and make them IP specific, make them organization specific. Okay. So do you understand? Did you understand the requirement? What is to be done? Then I'll show you the demo.
Yes.
Okay. So EC2 instance can communicate to any other IP outside across the globe, but other IPs should not reach to EC2 instance. That is the requirement now. So for that purpose, what should we do? So first of all, I will click on inbound rule. Outbound rule is always allowed. I don't have to edit that rule. But for inbound rule, I'll click on to inbound rule. I can see certain rules are already available, but I will try to edit that again. So when I click on edit inbound rule, it will show me like this. Okay. So each of the rule, we can just delete them and we can add them. Okay. So let's say the very first rule that we are going to add to the EC2 instance is related to the login, because very first time I want to log in into my server. So whenever you want to log in, at that time you need to follow certain protocol. So by default, which protocol we have to use for login purpose? For please remember that every time for the login purpose in the cloud, we have to use this SSH. That is called a secured cell. So very first time we have to use what? Secured cell. And this is coming on to what is this protocol using TCP, and which uh, which port address it is using, 22. So these are called as very secure port. Means it should not be left open, and we need to know that who has access to this port. So that is called as CNC port or command and control port. And see, the SSH command is already very secure. It is using TCP IP address, TCP protocol, and port address it is using 22. And then we come to source, that who can access through this SSH. SSH is a process through which we can do the login part. So for that purpose, I have to select the IP address. So it is saying anywhere IP address, or custom IP address, or anywhere IPv6 address, or my IP. My IP means my login IP. If I say custom, so I can here provide certain IP addresses. These are the default IP address. We can type our own IP address, or we can select the particular mask value as well for this. Or if you want that you have already created some extra rule regulation, so you can select that also from this launch wizard. See the launch one of this, if you are sure that I have done proper setting in that. Otherwise, we have to do it our own. So we can use select CDR. Right now, I don't know. Means I am not like I have not decided that which IP address I will be using every time at the time of EC2 login. So that is why I am giving it permission to any IP address across the globe should be able to reach to my EC2 instance via SSH. But this is not advisable. As you can see, the trusted advisor has raised the issue that this IP address you should not allow your instance. Okay, so that you need to allow only for the known IP addresses only. So if for the company terminals are fixed, so IP addresses will be there, and accordingly we have to put. So if I know that I'm going to access this from this IP address, I should be writing that IP address only. But at present I have written any, means anyone can reach to my EC2 instance, but they will be reaching through secured cell, not by any other mean. So that is the first rule I have created. Is it okay? Did you understand? Just select the SSH, and here source may you can put a particular IP address or any IP address. Now,
So what happened like when there
yeah,
is a retail client, somebody is selling, and there are millions of users logging in every day.
right.
So in that case, how do we restrict the IP address?
Yeah. So see, this is not available to the individual or the customers. Let's say if any customer is there for the website, so it is not available for them. It is for the admin or the cloud or architects who are there in that company, and they are only having this access, and they have given their IAM accounts. So they have their specific IP address. So if we select that only I should be able to manage this resource. So I can put this rule here that only custom, only my IP address has to be there. So I'll just put one of my IP address, and I'll select the particular address, and accordingly only whenever request is raised from that IP address only that will be selected. Or maybe I want to know that only my organization IP address should be able to select. So see, /24 means it is the IP address which is having mask value of up to 24. So any IP address from that group of /24 is able to access. So this is how we restrict a particular IP address or range of IP address. So /24 range of IP addresses will come. Now /24 IP address, let's say it is followed by our company, or maybe other companies are using /25. Other companies are using it can go up to /31, because Total number of bits in IP address is up to 32. So right now we want to just practice. So that is why I'm allowing it from anywhere IP address so that even I can access it from my laptop. Okay. So that is this rule is there. Now I want to add one more rule. Why? Because I want to set up a web server. So whenever you are setting a web server, you should be able to reach to access certain web pages. Website को I want to refer. So that is why I should be creating provision to at least come some secure traffic to my servers. So that that can come through this by using internet traffic. So for internet, which protocol are we using?
HTTP.
Which is the internet protocol that we are using? HTTP, right? So where is HTTP here?
Or TCP.
Ah, so I have got one HTTPS. When I say HTTPS, it is with coming with the SSL security. Like here, US East 1, as you can see in my address. If I click on this tab, it is saying useast1.console.aws.com. This is the address, and this connection is secured. When I click on this connection, it is saying it is secured and the certificate is valid. So it is using SSL security. So that is called as HTTPS. If you see on your web browser, if you don't see here secured lock, then please don't put your ID password in that particular website. Otherwise, that will be going as a plain text, not by encrypted, and anyone can read. So if I want to use one internet access, I can use HTTPS. Which protocol is used? TCP. And what was the port address? Whenever we use internet, at that time every system should have this port number 443 active. Then only internet packets can reach to our system. And from which IP address it should come? Let's say I'm putting any IP address. Whenever I selected this time again, I'm getting some warning that please understand that if you allow this, it should be allowed only through the known IP addresses. Maybe slash some value so that only specific range of IP addresses are allowed. But this time I'm allowing everyone so that anyone can reach, even your side and my side. Now again, I want to add one unsecured traffic as well. I want to add it. So how can I do it? So I'll just use uh, pure HTTP. There is DNS, there is IMAP, there is SMB, there is simple mail transfer protocol. All these are different protocols available. They are application layer based things. So if I select HTTP, it means it is again using TCP, but it is using port number 80. It is called as unsecured port. Okay, so unsecured port number 80 is for even local host communication. If you have made your website and you want to just check it, launch it, you can use your uh, own system as this as a local server. So that time we are using this port number 80. So early days, all the internet activity were done through 80, port 80. Even most of the website, which is only static website, there also we use plain HTTP, not HTTPS, because we want to save something some cost onto something. Because if I buy the SSL service, of course, there will be the charges for that. So that we need to avoid. Let's say I have just my biodata on the website, so there is no need to worry about. So that is why I can use only HTTPS. So again, you have to select which IP address should be able to access. Let's say again, I'm saying any. So again, Since it is already unsecured, so it is suggesting that for respective IP address, you can select any, otherwise you can select /0 should not be there, but I want to access it from anywhere across the globe, so I have deliberately set up this. Okay, once all the rules are set up, now I can add a few more rules, but I don't want to add now. I just want to log in. I just want to access through internet. That is all. So I'll just save this rule. So it will first revoke the permission and it will relaunch. So now it is saying that inbound security rules are successfully modified. So this is done now. Okay. So inbound rule is created, outbound rule is created, which is by default it is going all place, and now we are okay. And if I go back to EC2, I'll just click here so that I can go back to EC2. So when I so under this running status, we will find different servers. So right now I'm saying this as server. Actually, they are the EC2 instances. It is up to you that for what if you are using for web server, you can use web server. Let's say if you want to, you can use that. So that depends on how what we are using. Okay. So see, I have selected this web server 1. Now I'll go to again before booting. It is showing me that it is not advisable to open this SSH service port 22 for all the IP address. This is not right. That is coming from the advisor, and it is only showing please do not use this in the inbound rule. Rather, you use your area. So it is also suggesting that my area, my region, for my region, this is my range of IP address. Either I should use this IP address or I should use any IP address which is /29. So that will give me the range of IP address all which are coming with the mask of /29. When we create this mask, our IP address range is changed. So this is their suggestion, but still I'm using the any IP address. Okay. So I means for the company we should not use any. For the company they will give us this reason. They will give us this range. We have to use that only. Now I'm trying to connect. Okay, so I'll just click on connect. So if everything is right and our servers inbound outbound rules are correct, then I can reach to, and this EC2 instance will establish the connection. Whenever it will establish the connection, you can see we have got two IP address. One is public IP, one is private IP. So public IP, if I want to use a private IP cloud service within my infrastructure. So see this thing has come, this black window with the cursor. So that means my services are active now. Means my Ubuntu system is running. So if I go back to that previous time where it was showing that this slide, this we cannot reach to the server. Now I'll try to reload and try to refresh. Let's see what happens over here. Now my server is up and running. Am I able to connect?
No.
No. Still it is saying that it cannot be reached. So I'm not able to reach still. Why? Because there is no server installer, right? It is just the infrastructure which is running. Means your Ubuntu software is running. You have purchased a laptop with the operating system. You have made it open. But in the operating system, there is no software. So first thing is that we should add some software in it. So whenever I want to add some software, I can use certain Linux command to write to install some software. So which software do I want to install? I want to install one web server. So whenever we want to configure any web server, there are some lengthy steps. But if you want to just immediately do this, then there is one server which is very, very small and which will give you this option very fast. That is called as Nginx server. There is one company called as Nginx who is giving us the smallest web server, and we can host our small websites over there. Okay, so I try to let us say we try to install that software, and then we'll run again and we'll try to see whether we are able to reach to my EC2 instance and should be able to access it. So I'll just use this command sudo. Whenever you want to write anything, please make sure you use this command sudo. Then only you can do some admin activity. Okay. So in your laptop, if you want to install certain software and you do not have admin rights, so it will ask you for admin rights. By default, our laptop, we are the admin only. So we do not give this permission. In Linux, it is specific. Writing, whenever you want to write any command, if you want it run by admin side, then you have to use this word called as sudo. This is for the Ubuntu system. Like I said, that there are almost 132 types of operating system in the Linux. The very famous for hacking is called as Kali Linux. So they are having different command. Even there is Amazon ka their own. Amazon has their own uh, this Linux system that is called as Amazon Linux. So if you have installed Amazon Linux, not the Ubuntu, then for the admin right, do not write sudo. You don't have to write sudo, it will not work. For that, you have to write yum command, yum, yum. So you have to practice any one Linux system. Okay, it is very easy. Okay, within half an hour, you will get to know almost 50 such commands, and with that command, you can easily operate any server-based operating system in the Linux. Okay, so either you use sudo command or you use yum command. So these two are the Linux admin right command. So I have written here
Sue also,
sudo.
right?
Yeah, which one?
You sue also, right?
Yes, yes, that is
The-
also there. So depending upon Debian system or a non-Debian system, we can use that.
So
So
which one is
sudo,
famous? Red Hat Linux is very famous, right? Out of all,
see nowadays, if we talk about user interface type of operating system, then there is uh, Ubuntu is very famous. And for the server also now Ubuntu has offered server system. So this is again Ubuntu, but this is not desktop version. This is server version. So same command will be there for both of them. And then there is Solaris, then there is OpenSUSE. All three are also servers. Okay. So we are using this sudo word, and then I want to install. So sudo space apt means application. I want to install, so I should write install. And what is that server name? Nginx. Nginx. This is the name of that Nginx. Nginix. So if I press enter, so it is saying reading dependency unable to locate the package. Okay. So I should first do sudo space apt space update. Maybe my server packages are not up to the mark. So I'll just patch the server. Always have the habit of update and upgrade. Sudo, again I'm writing command, apt space upgrade. So with this, I'm upgrading my packages. It is asking whether you want to continue or not. So I press Y as yes. So this is the server side. So in server you do not see the progress bar running. You will see this kind of uh, command line interface only. So in that this software is updated, getting updated. Some dependency library is coming. So I'll try to install that first. So just a minute, it will get over. So 98% is completed now. So that depends upon the internet speed and all. So every time my server should be updated one. So all the dependencies are installed. See the updated hypervisor is also there, which is being updated. So that is all. So once this thing is over, then we can again try to install. Okay. Even it could have been installed earlier also. I did one spelling mistake there. So we have to make sure that we have written our commands correctly. So I'll just press enter 2 3 times to check whether I have got the terminal console or not. So it is just installing, I think. Yes. So see, whatever servers we are using, we have to make sure that they are updated ones, and we can use it for web server purpose, database server purpose, or we can also host some application also, app server as well. So that depends like what we want to use it for. So this is Elastic Cloud Compute, where we are running one operating system, and we have borrowed these resources from AWS. And right now we are under free account, so that is why we are able to use some of the basic services of this AWS system. And if as a company they opt for this, so let's say, so in between my company, we wanted to change one local data center. So we first put our entire thing data onto the AWS server for, let's say, we did it for 3 months. And after that, we got our new server. So we again installed our local server and we migrated our data back to our local server. So recently we used 3 months the entire AWS cloud for our my organization, and there were around 4 TB of data, and there were regularly like 1,000 more requests were coming. So including all the activity, it was so cheaper that we get a monthly charge up to 8,000 rupees only. So Indian rupees 8,000 only. So it is like just about $100, I guess, right? $100 is 8,000 or so. Okay, so now we want to install one web server. I said sudo space apt space install. This is the command to install any app. Install. After that, you write the app name. So I'll write nginx. Okay, so one extra I had put last time. So it is asking whether you want to install it or not. I'll say yes. So it will try to download and install and see it has been installed. No need to be restarted. Okay, so we have hosted something. We have started one web server over here, and that is now installed. I want to check. See, whenever you host any web server, by default, we have one web page present in that. So I just want to show you that web space web. Okay. Let's say again I do reload. Let's see what is going to happen over here. So again it is refusing the connection. Or maybe I'll just close this and I'll try to connect again. So see the public IP address will be same for my EC2 instance, and in private IP address is same for internal communication. So that is why public IP addresses are very uh, much required, means they are very important. And even in AWS, if you are using one public IP, if you're asking for public IP from AWS, it is chargeable thing. Okay. So let's say I want to use this and I want to just ping for that IP address, which is 44.210.86.2. So I'll just copy it from here and let's say because of cookies and uh, already present data, I let's say I'm going for incognito mode. So I'm using another window where I'm typing this public IP address of my server and I'll just try to enter it. So what is being shown? Welcome to Nginx. This is the default page which was saved onto that server and it has come. Welcome to Nginx. And this we can replace this page by our website or our own maybe CV or something. Okay. So this is the IP address that at which we are having the things live. Okay. Can you all try this? I want means I want both of you to just type this command. Me and Webo has done that server part also earlier. Am I audible? Am I audible there? Please put this in your browser, in your cell phone, or
No.
in your laptop. In your cell phone or laptop, please put this IP address and
Public.
press enter
See,
44.210.86.2 and check whether that web page is accessible to you also. Are you able to access? Just check it. You
so we
should be
just
able,
so we
you
just put
should,
it on, we just put it on the where it's where it says google.com on the top. That's
yeah,
where
yeah.
we need to put, right?
Yes, yes. Right
It's
now
not.
we have made it live for entire globe. worldwide.
Okay, I don't have access to it. It just doesn't do anything. It just says, "What does this mean?" It just does like a Google search. That's it.
Don't search it directly, type onto the address bar of it,
I did, yeah.
44.210.86.2, and press enter.
Let me try again.
Yeah, try that.
Yeah, mine is connecting. Mine says like same page as
Oh
yours.
yeah, I got it.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
welcome to
well,
Nginx. Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
within 5 minutes of time, we made our website live across the globe. Anyone with this IP address can access this resource, can access this web server, can come to this page. At present, anybody, like if this IP address is known to anyone, but most of the time, this IP address is not known to everyone every time. So that is why we use this public IP address and we lock it with the web space, whatever we have purchased from any website providing company. So people try to write flipkart.com, and flipkart.com goes to this particular IP address. So they then that will appear that particular page. So if we purchase any web space from any website providing company and we link this to this, so this will come to there. Okay, even we can use it with the uh, S3. So there is S3 service in the AWS. You can just upload all your HTML files there and you can make it live. And that is also giving you the link, not just this IP address. By using that link, you can give it to anybody by using URL shortener, or maybe you can generate a QR code. Anybody can scan that QR code and reach to your website and reach to your CV. Let's say you have hosted your CV in there, so that you can do. So this is how we have made. But however, if you can see what is coming here, if I click on this, what is being shown? Not secured. It means it is communicating through HTTP protocol, not HTTPS. It is coming through port number 80, not from port number 443. So it is saying your connection to this site is not secured. If you try to write any password or credit card information, this can be stolen because this data is not encrypted. However, this is static website. We are not putting any input from user side or on this website. So then there is no worry. Sometimes some phishing websites are there who are just giving a Facebook like very look-alike page like Facebook. They will show you this Facebook page, and by mistakenly you will not check that it is bluish color, it is like Facebook, and you don't pay attention. You just put your username and password. Moment you click enter, it has gone to that server. Now it is saved there, so they can see your username and password. So whenever you want to, you are opening your Facebook account or any uh, uh, account on any new computer or any public place, make sure that you first check whether it is secured or not. If it is not secured, please do not take the risk of typing your username and password, because once you type your password, it is not that vulnerable, but they will understand your pattern of writing the password, and even they can use a spraying software. There is a software called as password spraying. So they will take your password and they will spray it everywhere. Spray means they will use that password on each and every website wherever account opening system is there. And if you have used same password at other places, immediately you will be they will be able to get the access. So this every so that is one another practice, that we should not use the same password at each and every place. And if you are using it, please make sure it is not disclosed at any point of time, and have the habit of revising or changing your password at regular interval of time. And if password is very tough, then you will be even writing that password some at some place somewhere. So that is vulnerable. Your password should not be written anywhere. So you try to use some logical idea in such a way that you should be able to make a password by yourself from your mind, and you should not forget it. So you have to use certain criteria that I will be using this particular place name, this particular date name, this particular event time, and you don't disclose to anyone else. So this is
Even
how,
in the password spraying
yeah,
technique, the username can be different, right? So if the username is different,
yeah,
so
username is different, but 90% of time nowadays now we are having this feature. Nowadays, all the websites has come up with this feature that is called as SSO, single
mm,
sign-on. So
yeah.
whenever you see everywhere it is written login by Google, login by Facebook. So once I know your Google ID, Google email address, then I can use that combination with the password. So Google email address with the password. So
Okay,
sometime
only with the organizations that use SSO. Those that do not use SSO, they cannot, right?
actually SSO is secured.
Yeah.
Because in SSO, even your password is leaked, but let's say that password is different than Gmail password. So
Yeah.
at the time of SSO, Gmail is the authenticating body. So Gmail, it is Gmail's responsibility to authenticate that. So Gmail will use your logged in account and password. That is
Hmm.
fine. But because of the SSO system, nowadays many people are using the same email ID everywhere. So once your email ID is available, he can use that combination email. Means they will not use SSO option. They will only use this console where password may you will have either email or mobile. So it will they
Okay.
will use the Gmail ID and the
Hmm.
password which they have got from the, and then they try to spray it. So it is like that.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah. So this is one that was the one of the web page that I shown. But our main thing is infrastructure security. So infrastructure security deals with three things. Okay, this is from customer side. What is that? Compute power, storage power, and the network. So all these three things we have to secure. So one how do we secure the EC2? Very first rule to secure the infrastructure that you limit the access. So make sure that your access is not given to everyone. So make sure that your access is not given to any other player here. So we can modify the security group, that is SG rule, and because of this SG rule, we can limit the inbound and outbound traffic. So we can go to security and we can edit that particular thing. Okay. So here the system was running at that time. So even if you want to access that in web page, you can just go to, like, after installing Nginx, that was the default page. But even I can go to slash www slash var. So with the var and www, I should be able to get into the folder. Okay. So if I want to get into the folder, okay, maybe it is under one more layer, so that's why I'm not able to reach inside. Sometime they have two folders in that. So if I want to able to reach to that HTML page, I can edit that page. So edited information will be shown in that page. So this is how we try to secure the infrastructure with the limit rule. That is called a security group. So very first thing we have to understand that SG should be very strong. Security group must be very strong. Then only we'll be able to ensure that nobody is able to exploit. Even in this case, just so that you all should be able to access that page, I made it open that anyone from any IP address can access this. Otherwise, we can limit that also. So this is how we can uh, go to the instances and we can secure them. So whenever you want to make any changes into EC2 instance, you have to select that instance, get inside the instance, and then you can connect, or then you can edit their security rule. So that was the one. Okay. So I have selected this web server one. There is one more server running. Okay. So depending upon your requirement, you can make it on and off. Okay. So yesterday, I told you that we have used this and like 1 hour, so we got charged about 10 cent. So whenever you are done with the instances, so you can always stop the instances. Make sure you are using the stop button and you stop the instance, so it will not run. And if it is running, then it will attract the charges as per hourly based. So there was like almost 1 cent for per hour. So I'll just refresh again this, and I'll see whether instance is stopped or not. So it is saying it is under stopping process. Okay. So on the left hand side, if you can see, there is EC2 dashboard and there is EC2 global view. Now, second step after securing the EC2 is about this global view. So you should also keep a tab on checking the global forget that we in other reason, some other reason for some other purpose. Not we are not using it now, but let's say it is just running. It is just on. So that will
Arun, can you
again
one
add
second, Arun?
few
You're cutting off. Arun, you're cutting off. I didn't understand the last 2 minutes of your conversation. Your voice is cutting. Is it only me who's feeling that?
No,
charge
yeah, he's cutting off. Yeah, we
He's
can
your
cut.
also hear that.
Okay.
account.
Arun,
So that is how you have to avoid it. Okay.
Arun. The last 3 minutes of
And
your hello, Arun.
even me and Vaibhav had started one service with the gateway was on for many days. That gateway was in actual credit card. Even we had the
Okay,
open
Arun.
source,
Arun.
that is the
Arun.
reasons which are certain reason. Hello. Yeah, yeah.
Arun.
Yeah,
No.
please go ahead.
The last 3 minutes. The last 3 minutes of your
Yeah, I can hear
conversation,
you.
we could not
Is
hear
there
you.
any query?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Yeah, I
last
can
three
hear.
minutes of your conversation,
Yeah, yeah.
we did not hear anything you said.
I think the
Okay, okay.
network is
I'll
lagging and he's hearing our previous conversation now. So just wait for a second.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
okay. There may be a network delay because of that. Yeah, that is right. Vaibhav. Is it okay now? Are you able to hear me properly?
Yeah, now it's better, at least better than before.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So this might have like there might have network fluctuation. Okay. So what I was telling that sometime we have to keep a tab on checking the global view. tab of
Your voice is
checking
breaking again. I think the
the
AWS page is taking a lot of processing power.
global view of EC2 as well.
Hello, Arun?
So that was the second option, that is called as
Hello,
global view. Sometime we
hello,
try to
Arun?
open some EC2 instances for some other reason, and we do work in some other reason. So that time we see what happens. Maybe left running to make sure
You'll
that
have to put it in chat
EC2
again.
instances
Arun,
are running only
Arun,
when
cannot hear you.
you are having the use of it. Otherwise, it will attract the charges. Hello? Yeah. Are you able to hear me?
No, Arun, we cannot hear you again. You're cutting off,
Yeah, got
and
it, got it. Just a minute.
yeah.
No, Arun, the lag is only coming when you are displaying or presenting the AWS screen. So I think the main issue is with the AWS screen. So that is when it's starting to reload and process, the lag is coming up.
Okay, so I'll try to just cancel the share screen for a time being. Let's see. Am I audible now? Is it clear? Yeah, just a minute. I think your voice is not audible to me, but I can see uh, mic is on. Hello. Yeah. So I'll just share the screen again. Yeah, okay. I think there is some issue, and let